still mostly, it's like still very largely better. Plus it's only
Uh,
on PC. I think they're going to try and bring it to console, but God knows when that will be.
yeah, console is just it's years behind the PC now, sadly, which
Not
is a
just
shame.
that, it's because obviously you develop it on PC, so it obviously is better to work on PC, whereas you got different parameters to work with on console.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know. Project Cars 2 was I don't know. It was a game that felt like it was tailored for console more than PC.
Yeah.
Um, so it just worked really well, everything about it. But yeah, I
And the
don't know if
best
we'll ever
part
see a
about
game
Red
like it
Sport is it
again.
actually the best part about Red Sport is it actually has a different track in it from a set of course. It has Hockenheim ring.
Is that the only track it has other than? Oh, why doesn't actually
No,
ACC is probably going to put Hockenheim in that. I'm sure it will at some point.
no, because it's not part of it wasn't. It's not part of the hang. The they never go to it during the series.
Oh, so they just included it as an extra in Red Sport.
Yeah. No, the Red Sport doesn't follow any particular racing series.
Oh, even though it's GT3.
Yeah, it's got right now. It's only got 4 tracks: Monza, Spa, Hockenheimring, and Nürburgring GP.
Hmm.
And cars.
Where
It's
are we, by the way?
got
Where are they on the track, by the way?
uh, oh, we've still got a few minutes. We've still got a few seconds.
Okay. Are they near the end of the lap?
Yeah,
Okay.
coming
All
into the
right.
bus stop in a minute.
Cool. All right. Well, it'll be about 30 seconds until we go
Yeah,
lights
they've
out.
got the they've got the Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche Cup, and GT3 Cup version, and the Praga R1.
Oh, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, I've not tried the Praga yet.
Oh shit. Right, let me start double checking on my the right mics in. Yep, we're good.
Yeah, you still sound beautiful.
Not that I want to sound beautiful, I just don't want to sound shy.
Well,
Not that I want to sound beautiful, I just don't want to sound shy. Right, there we go, we are on. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the Grand Prix here at Spa. The Belgian Grand Prix here at Motive for Season 6 on the EA Sports F1 game. We're moments away from lights out here at Spa-Francorchamps. As you can hear the engines start to go silent here. The engine res will start to rise in just a second. Here we go, we're moments away from the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. And Terza Mazda gets away well from pole as Senna there looking to the outside into La Source. He's going to go around the outside. Senna's got himself well alongside here. Can he get a good exit though? Senna manages to get the move done there, coming down towards El Rouge, and he takes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. You've got Toaster there running in third just behind these two. Ahead of Papa Squanch. Dino's got ahead of Matty Pitt up into P5. As we've got side by side here, Justin Teal squeezing ahead of Andrew Pittsmith there up into 8th place as well. Brave move there from our debutant here tonight. But Senna leads coming down the Camel Straight for the first time as we got a move potentially being shaped up here by Dino looking to the outside of Papa Squanch here coming down towards Lacombe. He's going to try and go around the outside. Oh, and Dino tags the rear of Toaster. Gets really sideways there. Did well to hold on to that, but a little bit aggressive there from Dino. And he's now got Matty Pitt down his inside coming through the next right-hander. Matty Pitt there moves himself through up into P5 as Nino Blanco's lost a few places here on the first lap. And he's into the wall and Nino Blanco's got big damage. Oh, he tagged the polystyrene block there as well enormously. And Nino Blanco there down to 14th place in this race. This start to this Grand Prix has not gone at all to plan here for him. As we can see, we got T here looking to the outside of Crazy Max coming through Pouon, but he's not going to be able to get alongside, I don't think. There is he's wide there, really, really wide there as well, trying to hold it all the way around the outside though is T, and he's done that one brilliantly there on Crazy Max up into P11.
well, I would say he's probably getting an unfair advantage because he did go off track and pass at the same time.
But he went off the track at the previous corner, wasn't it? I thought it. I don't know if it had an effect on.
Well. Well, so the game doesn't know that you've went off track and passed on, so it has an advantage, so it can't penalise you for that.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I mean, we'll have to see what the stewards think of that if an inquiry comes in. It's one to potentially think about. But as we see collision there, the Grieve there barging Justin Teal out of the way, and Dino in the meantime is into the pits at the end of lap 1. So obviously maybe a drive through, perhaps, maybe a jump start. I don't know.
No, because it'll come up on the screen. I think he probably feels he's got damage.
Maybe damage, yeah. Potentially he's going to put the hard tyres on and go to the end, because you can get a set of hard tyres to the end here at Spa. Obviously it's a very fast circuit and it's a long track, So the laps do tick by very, very quickly, and generally the tyre wear's not too bad either.
No, he's went for the soft, sorry.
Another set of soft, really?
Yeah.
Wow, Keko then moved down the inside of Andrew up into 8th place, should I say. So he moves himself up a position here. We've got a few split strategies going on here tonight. Senna, Tobster and Papa Squanch on the soft tyres. Tezamazza on the mediums, and Tezamazza currently keeping with Senna, the race leader, who's on the soft tyres. So this is obviously advantage Tezamazza in this instance, as we know him, because he's on that slower, more durable tyre, and he's still keeping tabs with the leader, so he could play himself into contention later on in this race. It's probably going to be a one-stopper. I imagine the medium runners will have to put the hards on. The soft runners will also have to put the hards on, because a medium soft or a soft medium strategy might be a little bit of a push. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I'll probably say that the mediums will probably last. If you go non-stop, I'll probably go lap 11, lap 12 before they go off.
Until the mediums go off. So yeah, you couldn't go 10 laps on a set of softs, could you?
No, not around here, not at full pace.
So I think, yeah, it'd be a real ballsy strategy if somebody were to try and do it, but I can't see that happening, to be perfectly honest with you. But Tezamazza here all over the back of Senna as they're coming out of the start-finish straight once again, as they're coming into turn 1. See Tezza just a little bit too far back, really, to put Senna under any significant pressure at this point. Tobster and Papa Squanch there still running in 3rd and 4th, but we've currently got DRS will be enabled this lap. We've got Justin all over the back of the Grieve here as they're coming down this little straight towards Eau Rouge. Let's jump onto the leaders though, because Tezamazza's going to have a chance here. Look at this as he pulls out the slipstream now, and this is going to be easy here for Tezamazza. Look at that, it's like it's not even a contest. Too easy, far too easy there. And looking in the background here, here comes Sebastian Vettel. It's neck and neck with Lewis Hamilton into Lacombe, as we got the Grieve there moving ahead of Keke up into 7th place. But yeah, plenty of Sebastian Vettels out there tonight into Lacombe as we're watching. Currently, Andrew Pittsmith, Kekiko even trying to come back at the Grieve coming into Brussels, but a bit too far back right now. But Tezamazza and Senna having a good little dice here out the front, and Tezza leading on those medium tyres. It's going to be massively advantageous here for him. But saying that, they're both going to have to. It is going up, but actually saying that though, they're actually going to have to. They're both going to have to run the hard tyres in the second stint, barring a safety car. That is obviously. So when you factor that in. Obviously, what's happened? Oh dear. Can't find who it is. It might be Crazy Max there, because he's just getting going again.
Yeah, it was.
It's Crazy Max there having a bit of a moment going through Pouon, and that's dropped him down into the clutches here of Dino, who's also had a bit of a scruffy start to this race. But yeah, I was saying obviously, because Tezamazza and Senna are both going to have to run the hard tyres in the second stint. Senna's going to have to come into the pits earlier than Tezamazza, because he's on the soft, so he might be able to get the undercut on Senna. Sorry, I mean Tezza even. Senna might be able to get the undercut on Tezza by putting the hard tyres on early. Saying that though, are you going to get the undercut if you're on hards compared to another driver on slightly warm mediums? I don't know whether the undercut's going to work very well in that scenario. It might not, because to be fair, slightly warm medium is probably going to be similar pace to a fresh set of hards. You would think on paper anyway.
Yeah, the tyres, the tyres do come out of tyre blankets before they go in the car, but you've got to think about the time it takes when the car is dropped off the jacks to the time it takes to roll to the end of the pit lane. Those tyres are going to cool down a significant amount. I
think you're absolutely right, but we can see here we've got Freddie all over the back of Keko, Andrew Pittsmith on them as well here. You've got a four-way train here, battling over 8th place. These guys are dropped off of the mid-pack a little bit here currently. You've got Matty Pitt, Justin Teal and the Grieve, and a bit of a cluster. Oh, and Keko's binned it going out of no name. He's out of the race. He's written that car off, and that is a safety car. So that's going to be huge here for the strategy, because we are at that range now where people could come in and one stop onto the hards. So I reckon everybody's going to be filing in at the end of this lap. Obviously, those who started on the hards, potentially they're going to have to go long on the mediums here if they want to do a one stop in this race. Matty Pitt, the Grieve, can they get a set of mediums to the end from here? That would be an extreme test if they're able to do that.
They're not going to last.
Thing is, it would be 16 laps from here to the flag once we actually get racing again. So 16 racing laps on a set of mediums. it wouldn't be the first time I've seen it happen, but around this circuit, it might be a bit of a push. But Senna into the pits nonetheless, and so is Papa Squanch, so those two both taking the opportunities to come in. Interestingly, Tezamaza staying out and maintaining track position here, so the race leader has opted not to come in and change his tyres. But Tobster moves up into second on some soft tyres, so he must be banking on another safety car here, because to not be pitting on the soft just makes no sense to me.
Right, well, I've just looked it up, and I don't know if this is going to be similar to the game or not, but according to the official F1 website, at Spa, the tires, medium tires can last as long as 20 laps.
Well, there you have it from Mr. Iain Prentice, AWS representative himself. They're live on the Motive Racing channel. Thank you very much, Iain. Iain Prentice, powered by AWS.
Of course.
But we're here under safety car here, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, for those of you who were tuning in hoping that we'd see some exciting action, we've got Tezza, who's currently leading ahead of Toaster. These two are both opting not to come in to put some new tyres on, which is quite strange if I'm perfectly honest. Matty Pitt and the Grieve, you can kind of understand why they haven't, because they started on the hards, they're kind of committed to that strategy. Probably banking on there being another safety car. I wouldn't say they're completely... I wouldn't say that they're totally barking up the wrong tree with that idea, because I think that could be a possibility here. Senna, the highest runner of those who've come into the pits. He's obviously got the medium tyres on. That, I tell you what, that is a risk there. Senna has rolled the dice, because Senna on the medium tyres from here, like you say, Ian, potentially 20 laps, but then you have to be very, very kind to them, don't you? You have to be massaging those tyres. You have to be just giving them little words of encouragement and sweet talking him, I think, to get them that far.
Well, this is, like I said, this comes from the official website, and that's the tyre performance charts from this year's Belgian Grand Prix.
Oh, real life?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the game.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's going to transfer, if that tyre information is going to transfer to the game or not. But if you are kind to them, and it looks like the weather is pretty much the same as what it was during the GP this year. I would imagine if you were to kind of go in between going hard, then kind of bringing it back a little bit, you would probably get a decent amount of laps out of them compared to someone that just wants to push.
So it's going to be all about conservation really tonight, isn't it? By the sounds of it. See Andrew and T there swapping places, obviously getting a little bit restless here behind the safety car. We've almost got everybody with us here now, but it's just Nino Blanco we're waiting on, and unfortunately, if not everybody's at the back of the train, then we have to do an entire lap. It'd be nice if we could have like set points where you could get going from a safety car, wouldn't it? Maybe on the Camel Straight, but obviously there's no such thing as common sense in Formula 1. Joking, obviously. But nonetheless, the safety car is going to have to lead us around for another 4.5 miles, 7 kilometres. So we're going to obviously have to get a bit more comfortable here. Behind this, is it the Aston Martin here tonight?
Yeah,
it is, yeah, it's the Aston Martin safety car. Sometimes it's a Mercedes, sometimes it's an Aston Martin, you never know what it's going to be.
Depends on the track.
Depends on the track, absolutely. Somebody's at my door, if you might be able to hear in the background. I'll let somebody else get that. But yeah, currently, here we are then. Ian, what were your thoughts so far on tonight's racing? Obviously a track that you know quite well, Spa. Do you enjoy racing here? And what's your thoughts on the racing here tonight, mate?
It definitely, it's like I said, it's Spa. It always provides some very close, very fast-paced racing. So it's just fantastic all round. Everyone's been trying to keep to themselves, not cause too many accidents. It's just a bit of overall good net racing as per usual, what we see from these guys.
Definitely so. It's been really nice to see everybody respecting each other and giving each other the room to race. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago we had a bit of a nightmare. For those of you who weren't aware, Austria, we had a bit of horror show. If I'm perfectly honest with you, the whole night was chaotic.
We'll be here 10 minutes.
Ah, cool. I'm commentating, so I'll be about 20 minutes until I'm done. But yeah, obviously, for those of you who did tune in a couple of weeks ago, it was completely and utterly. It was a shit show, if I'm perfectly honest with you. But tonight we really seems to have turned things around, which is absolutely brilliant. Because I like to watch clean racing, not wreckfest demolition derbies. Yeah, I'm really pleased.
As fun as that can be.
Yeah, but yeah, if you do get the chance, please do not watch the stream from a couple of weeks, ago, because not only was the race, no, it's 2 weeks ago, Austria. Not only was the race abhorrently dreadful, but also the basically I disconnected from the lobby and was commentating on a load of AIs for the last 10 laps of the race without realising. Fun times.
Always.
Embarrassing fun times. It must have been, honestly, if I was a well-known famous Twitch streamer, there'd be so many memes about me right now.
Oh yeah.
And me just getting excited watching a load of robots driving around. But here we are. Yeah, the power of AI nowadays, honestly. But here we are as we're coming over the start-finish line to start lap 7 of the race. It's Tezza leading ahead of Toaster with Matty Pitt there in 3rd. You got the Grieve ahead of Senna, followed by Papa Squanch, Justin Teal there in 7th. As it looks like Nino Blanco's moved ahead of Crazy Max's AI, so obviously Crazy Max's AI now no longer in the race. Crazy Max's AI though not posing a threat to anybody at the moment. They're not intelligent enough or sophisticated enough to do too much damage at this point, but Tezza looking to stretch his legs here out the front. Senna's moved ahead of the Grieve up into 4th place. There's Papa Squanch now behind this battle as well, but Senna there making the move into the Coombe, and T's also moved ahead of Andrew Pittsmith here up into 9th place. Has he got that move completed? Yes, he does, and he tucks in there as they come through the Coombe as he goes a little bit wide there, does T, but nonetheless has got the move completed. Up into 9th place there. It's Dino looking to the inside of Andrew Pittsmith. All contact there between them, and Andrew goes a little bit wide there. Does Dino manage to get the exit? He does, and up into P10 goes Dino into the final points paying position. Now he can focus his attention here on T. And Matty Pitt's got ahead of Senna up into 3rd place coming through Pouan, but Senna's trying to come back at him here as they come down towards campus. But Matty Pitt there making a move on Senna. Did Senna make a mistake? Because obviously Senna's had the pace here tonight to match Tezza, but so far in this since this restart I've struggled on potentially cold tyres here. But here we come through Stavilo. Toast has got a 3-second time penalty. What a shame for track limits. So obviously he's pushed his luck a little bit too much and has gone a bit too far. The steward said, unfortunately mate, you really are taking the piss now, as Senna here has got a bit of a run here coming through Blanchimont, and you can see he just has to back out of it a little bit there because Matty Pitt's speed kind of caught him out. Senna here to the outside coming into the bus stop chicane, and breezes past him into the braking zone on those medium tyres, the faster tyres. Senna up into 3rd place, as Dino's made the move on T as well up into 9th as they're coming over the line here to complete lap 8 of the race as well, lap 7 should I say. Yeah, interesting and fast pace restart here as we got Freddie on the back of the Grieve, and Andrew's got ahead of Nino Blanco going into the source up into 11th place. Papa Squanch has done Matty Pitt on the run towards Old Rouge and Radion, but Matty's going to have the DRS here coming down the Camel Straight. But look at that, Justin Teal squeezing through the gap. Wow, great driving from Justin, and he's going to make 2 moves here I think, because he's not got DRS. Why is it not? Oh, because it's only 2 laps in. But now looking to the outside here, Papa Squanch, is he going to make that move? He is. Justin Teal there, but Papa Squanch still trying to keep himself there. He goes a bit wide there as Papa Squanch, and Matty Pitt makes his way through, but Justin Teal making 2 place gains in the space of a few hundred metres. Really impressive driving here from our debutant, making his first ever appearance on the Motive Racing channel tonight. Really impressed with Justin so far. Toaster here falling back into the clutches of Senna, who's trying to make hay here, because obviously Senna knows that his rival for this race win, potentially Tezza, is escaping up the road there in the lead, as T has got a 3-second time penalty as well for track limits. But Senna attacking on the back of Toaster here coming into campus. Still can't find a gap at the moment. Toaster's parking his car in all the right places at this point.
I believe it's Spa. Spa is, yes, it may be one of the faster tracks on the calendar, but it's also one of the tracks that you really need to keep patience and keep your eye out for every opportunity to try and make sure the driver ahead overthinks and puts himself into a mistake as he's trying to make the pass now. Even quicker, go for a dive bomb. Yes.
Oh, he gets it done. Beautifully moved there. Yeah, lovely stuff there from Senna. So that's P2 now for him. He can now try and chase down the leader Tezza, who has escaped up the road there in P1. But there they go into La Source once again, as Justin coming under pressure from Papa Squanch still in the battle for 4th. There's Matty Pitt, Freddie, Dino, De Grieve, and T running in those positions behind them. at the moment as well. But Teza Mazza leading the race as they come up through Eau Rouge for the 9th time here in this race. Senna now trying to close the gap if he can, and I'll tell you what, Teza Mazza's lost a bit of time here to Senna over the course of this lap so far. It was about 2.5 seconds, it's now 2.1. So has Teza made a small mistake there coming to the first sector, as Freddie's moved ahead of Matty Pitt as well.
Actually, no, the tyres, no, hold on. The screen isn't all that clear. Yeah, there's 4 laps difference with the tyres, and yeah, to a lot of people that may not seem like a lot, but it's Spa, that as a dramatic difference entirely right there.
Generally, I always use the rule of thumb, it's about 1/10 of a second per lap, isn't it, I would say. So, yeah, 4/10 a lap, that's a pretty big delta in terms of pace advantage. But Papa Squanch here still on the back of Justin as they're going through Bouillon. You can see Justin Teal's picked up a 3-second time penalty there for track limits, so he becomes the next driver to fall foul of the steward here tonight at Spa. They are definitely taking no shit here tonight. Sorry, do apologise for the language. But sorry, I'm really tired and I'm kind of like a bit exhausted, and I'm just in like a bit of a mode at the moment, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah. Sorry, who cares anyway? It's only the drivers who race in it that watch this. It's not like we've got sponsors, mate. Come on. I mean, we've got 4 people watching at the moment. But Papa Squanch down the inside of Justin into the bus stop, gets the move done there, beautifully done. I'll tell you what, there's on ACC, you get loads of people watching who are like friends and whatever of the people who are driving, but on the rest of the games, I don't think the guys really share it with people that they know, so generally we don't get as many viewers on the F1. I think most people watching are the people who race watching it back. That's what I get the impression of anyway. But nonetheless, because I noticed, because when we're live we get about maybe 30 views, and then obviously by the end of the week, you usually have over 100. So I imagine it's just people watching it back afterwards. But Dino up into P5, moves ahead of Freddie into the Coombs, so that's job done there for him. And Senna now within DRS of Teza Mazza, so is Teza Mazza taking it easy out the front? He's on 4 lap older tyres, but I know you said that it's an advantage, Iain, but he seems to be gaining more than 4/10 a lap at the moment.
I think, also I don't know what either of these two drivers' strategies are in terms of trying to keep their tyres with a decent amount of life, but I think Teza is possibly trying to keep his tyres a little bit fresher, because as of when Senna gets his tyres to where Teza's is, he's probably hoping that his tyres are in a better condition compared to Senna's.
I think you could be right. He's looking after them whilst he can, because when they're not battling, obviously he can be a lot more easier on them. But saying that though, it'd be a hell of a task for him to get those tyres in a similar state to Senna's. For me, I think he's best off just making his car as wide as he can, trying to push as hard as he can, and make the most of the tyre life whilst it's there. But I don't know, I mean, anything could work. T, in the meantime, picked up a 3-second time penalty. Is that his second penalty of tonight? I think we've seen his name pop up before here tonight. Yeah. I think he's a bit of a repeat offender here. I've definitely seen him appear in our notes before.
That's his second one this race.
Yeah, I'm seeing his name a bit too much at the moment. But Senna in the meantime looking to the outside of Teza Mazza coming into Lacombe, as he's just squeezing around the outside there, and lovely move there from Senna up into P1. But Teza Mazza's not done here, sticking to the back of him here as they come down towards Brussels, but can't make a move, he's too far back coming into the braking zone. But those fresher tyres for Senna really starting to pay dividends at this point, and he's just making the most of what he's got underneath him at this point. Teza Mazza had the pace in the first part of the race, definitely, because he knew he had the mediums on, he knew he could push them as hard as he could. Senna was looking after his tyres a little bit in that first stint, being on the soft, but so far in this second stint, Senna's really showing his mettle, and showing that he's got potentially even an edge over Teza Mazza at this stage in the race. I mean, obviously, can he keep it up until the end? That's the question. But Teza, we know, is a bit of a king of saving his tyres. For those of you who don't know, he is very, very good at making his tyres go a long way into the race. So maybe he is, like you say, just living to fight another day here, or rather preserving himself for the better days at the end of the race. As Andrew Pittsman is out of the race, he's DNF'd here, so Andrew's crashed into the wall somewhere, not sure where. Let's jump on board with Crazy Max.
I don't think he did. I think he possibly just retired because he was stopped and his car turned moving if you want to see on the map.
Oh, do you reckon it was a rage quit?
I really don't know, but the car's gone now.
So I jumped on board with Crazy Max to try and get a glimpse of Andrew, but obviously, like Iain said, it's no longer there, so it doesn't matter if it was there at any point or if it's existed. It obviously doesn't anymore. But Tezza Muzza into the pits here at the end of lap 11. Toast has done the fastest lap of the race there at the end of lap 11. He's the fastest man out on track at the moment, but unfortunately for him, he's running in 9th place here in this race. But he's on the back of Nino Blanco as they're coming through up towards Eau Rouge, so he might fancy his chances of making a move. I'm just looking at the screen. Obviously, if the leaders do end up having to pit again, then Toaster could be in a decent position here. He's obviously got fresh tyres on as well, slightly fresher than the leaders, but he is a long way behind them. But Toaster nonetheless makes light work of Nino Blanco there and moves himself up into 8th place. And like you say, Iain...
We have Tez, yeah, he's waiting into the pits.
Oh, wow. Wow, he has as well. Wow. I'm surprised at that. So he obviously felt like he couldn't get those medium tyres to the end. Senna clearly thinks he can. But what I'm confused about, Iain, is why hasn't he put another set of mediums on? Surely that would have been the obvious choice.
Well, I feel that he's possibly thinking about it. He's probably going to be stuck behind a lot of cars, so therefore he won't be able to get the fresh air that the tyres will need, so therefore he's probably thinking with the lack of fresh air, the tyres will probably heat up more, therefore getting them to the ideal race standard that the tyres need to be able to perform to their best. Therefore, at the same time, making them last a lot longer.
So it could be all about warm-up here, maybe, for him. Do you reckon? It could be about not burning them out whilst they're still not up to temperature. We see Tezza here down the inside of Nino Blanco, so moving himself up into 9th place. He's currently 20 seconds off of the race lead at the moment. He's 12 seconds off of the man in P2, Justin Teal. So if he can get ahead, if he can get into 2nd place and Senna's tyres fall off the cliff dramatically, then anything can happen here. As we see Matty pit into the pits, that moves everybody up a position. Tezza now running in 8th place. We're going to have to keep an eye on this man here because there's a long way to go, and Senna's tyres are going to be, I reckon, in about 5-6 laps time, they're going to start absolutely shattering to pieces. And that's going to be, I think, when Tezza's going to have to really try and make his strategy work to its full effect. But we see Tezza coming down the Camel Straight at the moment. We've got to go back to the battle for P2 though, because Papa Squanch is currently putting Justin under some pressure. You can see Dino just in front of these guys as well at the moment. And they're all clustering up together at this point, but Papa Squanch really trying to pile it onto Justin, who, as I said earlier on, has done an admirable job here tonight, it has to be said, on his debut here at Motive. It's not easy to jump into a league full of seasoned veterans like the ones that we got out on track here tonight and do every week, but yeah, it's been a really good showing here tonight from Justin Teal, and he's holding his ground quite nicely here ahead of some experienced drivers as Toast has moved ahead of the Grieve up into 6th place. So that's job done there for him on his fresh medium tyres. He was doing the fast laps of the race until a lap or so ago, but I reckon now it's going to be probably Crazy Max and Matty Pitt doing quicker laps than him because they are on the fresher medium tyres than anybody else out on track here tonight. Are we going to see anybody fitting the softs on for the end of the race? Because obviously we're getting into that window now, 6 or 7 laps from the end, but the softs could start to really reap the benefits. As Dino's gone ahead of Papa Squanch, that's because Papa Squanch is into the pits, and so is Freddie. So 2 more drivers coming in, are either of them going to chance the soft tyres here. 9 laps from the flag, I think we might be a bit too far out.
Well, we have seen much stranger things happen here at home, so it's not entirely out of the question. But yeah, he's going for the softs. Wow,
that's a bit of a roll of the dice there from Freddie. Papa Squanch putting a set of fresh mediums on, and the Grieve doing likewise. So is T as well. So 4 drivers coming in, 3 of them putting mediums on, and Freddie going for broke here in this final stint of the race. But could that pay off, or could even be made to look a little bit silly on the final lap maybe? But currently we go back to the battle for 2nd place because Justin Teal still just holding on ahead of Dino as they're coming into Brussels here for the 14th time in this race, and Dino is still trying to put the pressure on and force Justin into a mistake if he possibly can, as both of these guys have got penalties. So is Toaster and so is T, but everybody else has been keeping their nose relatively clean here tonight. Only 4 drivers out of the 14 have picked up penalties. That is I'd say that's pretty impressive To be honest, that shows some pretty strong discipline here from the drivers out on track here tonight. Senna currently leading the race still by just over 10 seconds, but Tezamaz's gaining on him quite quickly, and there is a big question mark over Senna and whether or not he can get these to the end. I reckon Senna's best chance of winning this race is to come in now, or come in maybe on the next lap and put some softs on, and then he'd have the pace to overhaul Tezamaza and pass him before the end. If I was Senna, I'd be thinking about doing that now, but I don't know about you, Ian, but that's what I'd be doing if I was him.
Yeah, I would probably be doing the same. I would try and minimise my chances of
risk.
Potentially, yeah, minimising the risk of any potentially coming bad my way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%. Well, a no-risk strategy is always the best policy in any case, because then you literally cannot go wrong. But yeah, I always find that it'd be silly to adapt to a risk strategy when you can go with a completely risk-free policy of doing something. It makes no sense to go with the contrary. But currently, Senna at the moment is just plumbing in the laps, and Tezamaza running in third place, 17 seconds behind. If Senna were to come in now, he'd come out about 10 seconds behind Tezamaza, but with fresh soft tyres, his pace would be at least 2 seconds a lap quicker, and it'd only be, well, he'd have more than enough laps to close in and pass him before the end of the race as well. So still time in this race for Senna to make a decision. Obviously he needs to do it quite soon, because I reckon those medium tyres, they will be shot to pieces at the end of this race. We know that for 100%. So it's about whether or not he's willing to risk track position. I mean, who's he going to fall behind? That's also another question. He could come out behind Papa Squanch. If he's unlucky with his pit stop and it's a long one, he could end up behind Nino Blanco and Matty Pitt here. So he's got to be thinking about these things at this point. But he'll have more of an idea of what will cost him what, and whereabouts he'll end up. He obviously knows. He probably knows what the pit lane lost time is around here better than I do, because I've never actually played this game once in my life. All I do is commentate. But he's coming in here. He is coming in, so I wonder if he's listening to the stream or if he's following our advice. Well, I doubt he's listening to the stream. Oh, we've got a safety car, so he's coming in at the perfect time here. Senna's going to benefit massively. He's going to get a free pit stop, and Senna is going to come out on fresh tyres with the lead of the race still. Very, very lucky here from him. Toaster also coming in. What about Tezza? Tezza's staying out, but Senna's already off and away and coming to the end of the pit lanes. Tezza is coming over the line here to start lap 16, but he's coming out behind Senna, who's on fresh soft tyres. So Senna has absolutely won the lottery here, and unless we have another safety car, I think this is race win, bagged up, signed and sealed, and ready to post here for Senna.
Well, you know, I wouldn't necessarily count him out yet, because we have seen the pace of Tezza tonight, and you know, if Senna ends up pushing those softs a bit too hard, they could go off a lot faster than we suspect.
But the thing is, by the time we get to the end of the race, it's only going to be, we're going to have 6 laps left. Oh no, sorry, 4 laps left in the race by the time we get to the end of the safety car. So, you know, it's going to be hardly any racing. He's not going to have time to burn them out. I don't think he can literally put 4 qualifying laps in. Boom, he's gone. 10 seconds up the road. I'd be surprised if Senna is less than 10 seconds up the road by the end of the race now. Honestly, I think this one is a foregone conclusion in my opinion. I hate to be a pessimist and play down the chances of us having a nail-biting finish to the race, but I have to be a realist in this situation. This race is over. Senna's got the win in the bag. He's done it. He's already won. Well done, Senna. Congrats, buddy.
We can't be biased like that. We'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, Toaster and Justin on fresh soft, but they haven't had the pace of Senna or Tezza tonight. Those two have been in another league. Only driver who I'd say has got the minerals to fight is Dino, but he's had a shocker tonight down in P10. So he's not going to be figuring in this battle at all. But here we are then, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately. For those of you watching this back, this is a bit of a bad spell in the race where we're not having any racing. Feel free to skip this if you want. If you double tap the right hand side of your screen a few times, you'll probably end up somewhere closer to the end of the safety car period. If not, you can listen to the ramblings of us as we obviously, because we can't skip this bit because we're watching it in real time. So we can't fast forward, we can't simulate this part of the race as much as we'd like to. We have to sit through this and grin and bear it out. So yeah, Ian, what do you have for?
That was a feature in not sure that was a feature in F1 22 where you could, where the host could vote to skip it to the end of the safety car period.
Yeah, I think maybe there was something like that. Yeah, it wouldn't look very good on the stream though. To be fair, it looked quite unprofessional. No. In all honesty, as much as I'm scathing about this whole situation, I think it's better than the alternative of not having, because to have sort of like no segue into each part of the race just wouldn't make any sense. I think it'd just be a bit weird. But nonetheless, we're waiting on Crazy Max to catch up to the pack. That is actually Crazy Max's AI, so we could have quite happily have gone at the end of that last lap, if I'm perfectly honest. So, that's annoying.
Oh well.
Oh well.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So, yeah, this is it then. Senna on his fresh soft tyres. I mean, you say it's like Hamilton Verstappen, except the fact that Verstappen is already leading the race, so he doesn't have to make an overtake. He just has to drop. He just has to drop the pedal and go.
Pretty much.
In other news, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this back and enjoying what you're watching here, then please do feel free to subscribe to the Motive Racing channel. Also, if you want to get involved, go to www.motiveracing.com as well. Also, we'll be back live on the channel this weekend on Sunday evening for the GT3 Championship. We'll be live from the Brickyard Indianapolis Motor Speedway for round 3 of the GT3 Championship on Assetto Corsa Competizione. PlayStation 5 only for that one. Obviously, we've got crossplay on F1 and Project Cars too, but in terms of the ACC, it's only PS5. But we've had 4 grids for the first 2 rounds of this season, and it's been absolutely stellar action on the Sunday night, so looking forward to that one very much so. And hopefully we'll also have the Dulcet Tones of Emo guy alongside us as well, of course. By the way, Dulcet Tones is actually a compliment. When I first heard somebody call me, refer to my voice as Dulcet Tones, I actually thought they were calling me dull. But then I actually found out it was a compliment, and I was really surprised. I was like, I thought they were insulting me. It's actually a compliment. It's actually meant as a nice thing. Dulcet Tones means pleasant tones, basically, is what it means. Or a pleasant sounding voice. But nonetheless, we're coming into the final sector here. We're just about to start lap 18, 5 laps to the flag here for Senna to put daylight between himself and everybody else on his fresh tyres. But I tell you what, who's going to be vulnerable here. Tezza Muzza on his hard tyres is going to be, he might even be a sitting duck here. If he hasn't got the pace, he's going to be a sitting duck for Tobster, Justin. The Grieve on the mediums also could be a bit vulnerable here with a load of fresh soft runners behind him. But here we are then, underway for the final few laps of this Belgian Grand Prix here at Motive Racing on the EA Sports F1 game here for round 8 of season 6. As into last source we go once again, no moves being shaped up, no overtakes into the first corner, and it's Senna who leads us coming down towards Eau Rouge and Radion. He's already got nearly a second of a gap here over Tezza Muzza, really showing that those soft tyres are working to full effect. Tobster here is right on the back of Tezza Muzza here as well, using his fresh soft tyres to his advantage. Here we come down the Kemmel Straight. Freddie's got a 3-second time penalty there for track limits, as Tobster can't get the run here on Tezza coming into Lacumi. He has to back out for the time being. We've got side by side here going on between Papa Squanch and the Grieve. Bit of contact there between them as the Grieve there squeezes through ahead of Papa Squanch, but Papa Squanch is going to have the inside for the next right hander, and back down the inside he goes. Fantastic racing here from these two. Papa Squanch there up into P5, but the Grieve's trying to hold it around the outside, can't do it. Papa Squanch job done there, and in fact Nina Blanco and Dino also side by side here going through Brussels. Nina Blanco gets that one done up into 9th place. Couple of moves going on straight away there. The Grieve has lost out to another driver here. Matty Pittler up into P6, so the Grieve dropping backwards here on this restart. Not the restart that he would have wanted at all, but as I said, Iain, Senna is absolutely leaving him for dead at the moment. He's got a second and a half now, 1.7 seconds over Tezza Muzza, so he is wasting no time at all in getting away and getting this race signed and sealed.
Yeah, he obviously knows exactly how much pace he has over Tezza on those tyres, and everyone else seems to have made the correct choice in going into the pits for the the soft boots, but it was unfortunate because Tez, from what we saw tonight, Teza, we all know that he had the pace to take the fight to Senna tonight, but it's just really bad circumstances, really, just really unfortunate timing for himself compared to when Senna came into the pits with that safety car.
Definitely, so it could not have been worse. And the thing is, though, I think the safety car came in as Senna was at the pit entry, so I don't think he'd even planned it or even was reacting to it. I think he was just so lucky.
Crashgate.
Hey?
The Crashgate incident.
Crashgate, definitely, yeah. Who was it? It was T, wasn't it? Who triggered it?
Yeah.
Well, they're not teammates, but who knows? I mean, anything's possible in the esports world. As the Grieve and Freddy here side by side, but the Grieve there moving ahead of Freddy up into P7. Nicely done there from him.
I love how we were saying that that looked like the Williams F1 livery when it is exactly the Williams F1 livery. Justin
around the outside there of Tesla, a lovely move there. Yeah, it is actually, you know what, it's almost identical, isn't it? Pretty much.
It has the Williams stuff all over the Halo.
It's the only car I think that you can actually get a rear. Oh no, Dino's lost it coming through P1. Manages to slow it down enough not to write the car off as he hit the wall, but he drops down to P10 there. And that's unfortunate there. He loses out on some potential strong points and he's rage quit.
Oh.
But Senna with a comfortable gap here out the front as we see Teza's keeping on the back of Justin. He's not allowing him to run off here in that third spot. Teza's still hoping he might get himself on the podium. Obviously the soft tyres wear out so quickly that maybe Teza might have a chance to come back at him, maybe on the final lap, maybe even a couple of laps from the end, because I mean it can't be stated how quickly those soft tyres wear off. You probably lose about 2.5 tenths per lap on the soft each lap that you do. So you know, it's a huge amount of wear, or maybe about 2 tenths a lap, maybe 2.5 is a bit of a stretch, but maybe 1.5, 2 tenths a lap, certainly more than you'd lose on the mediums, and a lot less than you'd lose on the hard. So really, yeah, Teza's just got to keep himself there and keep believing. He's still got DRS on Justin as well, so that will just bring him that little bit closer as they come to the end of the Kemmel straight, and you can see he's using that to his advantage now. The gap now only, well, 3 tenths of a second as they came into the Coombe, but obviously 2.5 laps left to go. He's still got an opportunity. The Green moves ahead of Freddy up into 7th place as they go through the Coombe. And in the background there, Nino Blanco's missing his front wing, so he's going to have to limp round to the pits, and he's rage quit.
No.
There's another rage quit there. The rage quit's coming in thick and fast here tonight. People just do not want to persevere and stick it out. 9 drivers left in this Belgian Grand Prix. It's been a bit of a toys and prams kind of a night here tonight.
A massive CF. I'm not going to say what the CF means because I don't want to get in trouble, but you know.
I actually don't know what that. I genuinely don't know what that stands for.
Well, I'll tell you that the first one is cluster.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm with you. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually didn't know what CF stood for. I can't lie. That one went over my head. But nonetheless, we've got Senna here coming into the bus stop and out onto the start finish straight here, about to start the penultimate lap of the race, and his gap over Tobster is continuing to steadily increase. Teza's coming back at Justin though. I said before, as a soft start to go off, Teza might get a bit of a second wind here as they come down the start finish straight, but he's going to get muscled out here by Papa Squanch, who's going to take both of them here around the outside into the source. Great stuff there from Papa Squanch as Justin trying to keep it ahead of Teza there. Teza's going to have to tuck in for the time being here, so that's he's lost 2 places there. Papa Squanch though up onto the podium places. Great opportunistic move there from him.
Yeah, but now it's all about trying to keep that position, keep the gap, or at least try and build it. But with the 2 people behind the DRS now, it's not going to be very easy. Oh my god, look at that.
Look at that DRS effect, unbelievable. Justin makes the move on Papa Squanch, Teza Mazza follows him through. So obviously the man on the hard tyres in the midst of a load of soft runners is still managing to survive here in this one. As they come down towards Brussels, you can see there in the background Matty Pitt trying to attack on Papa Squanch. Papa Squanch has gone from hero to 0 in the space of 1 straight there, and Matty Pitt now trying to knock him down another peg here, but Teza's still trying to nick a podium if he can. He's actually in a podium taking position at the moment, because with Justin's penalty he'll move up the position as things stand. As long as he doesn't get a track limits violation himself, he will actually get third place in this race, which will be damage limitation here for him, considering that he ended up on the wrong strategy due to a very, very ill-timed safety car from his perspective at least. Oh, it's Justin's lost it coming out of Stavilo. He's facing the wrong way there. Tezza moves up into the podium places. Papa Squanch into 4th and Matty Pitt P5. Justin struggling to get it going again as he gets it spun back around. But he's lost a place there to Freddie and the Grieve, and Justin down to 8th place. And yeah, I thought Grieve's front wing was gone there, but that's because his front wing blends in so well with the bodywork. But yeah, in the meantime, we got Senna starting the final lap of the race as he comes into that source for the 22nd time here in this Belgian Grand Prix. He's got 3.5 seconds to Toaster in 2nd place. There's Tezza running in 3rd. He's got Papa Squanch about a second behind him. They're in P4 ahead of Matty Pitt. And big gap back to Freddie running in P6, who's got the Grieve not too far behind him, but they're not really battling at this point. Justin Teal there running in 8th place, and Crazy Max a long way behind him in P9. But Senna's got about half a lap left to go here at Spa, and he's going to take his first win. I think it'll be his first win in quite a long time here. He obviously had to settle for P4 at Silverstone last week because he just wasn't quite on the pace. He wasn't a million miles off, about half a second a lap off of the pace of the leaders. Tezza, it was Tezza, Chris and Joram obviously racing as a reserve last week. Those two pretty much were heads and shoulders above everybody else. Senna was the only one who was anywhere near them. But Senna's obviously put in a practice this week. He clearly likes the track as well and has been putting in the work, has made the effort, and it's paid off absolutely brilliantly. He's been on the pace of Tezza Mazza all night and has been able to capitalise on the strategy. When the safety car came out, he was in the right place at the right time, and he's going to reap the rewards here as he's coming into the final sector here at Spa-Francorchamps. We've got Matty Pitt still battling with Papa Squanch here for 4th and 5th places as they're coming out of the that corner off Stabilo, which I always forget the name of. I don't think it has a name. But
Blanchimont.
No, Blanchimont's the flat out left-hander before the bus stop. Justin there's had a spin coming out of campus, but Senna over the line to take the checker flag. He's the race winner tonight at Spa. Toaster comes over to take 2nd place in the end, with Tezza Mazza not too far behind to complete the podium. Matty Pitt is going to finish this one in P4, just ahead of Papa Squanch, but Papa Squanch gets him on the penalties. So Papa Squanch P4, Matty Pitt P5. Freddie comes over to take 6th place in the end ahead of the Grieve, who finishes this one in 7th place in the end. Justin Teal is coming into the bus stop now, and it's going to be an 8th place for him as he's just coming into the corner as we speak. And he's really taking it easy here. He's backed off quite considerably here at the end of this lap. Oh, as he's now doing donuts. Okay, let's watch somebody else. Crazy Max coming into the final sector. This is Crazy Max's AI. Obviously, hats off to Crazy Max's AI here for sticking with it and keeping going and not backing out, obviously, with a car that's obviously not very quick because it's been driven by a very degenerative robot. But up towards the line comes Crazy Max. It's his AI to take 8th place.
Oh, he just overtook Justin.
Yeah, Justin Teal there going into the pits at the end of the race for God knows what reason, if I'm perfectly honest. But that is that then for the Belgian Grand Prix here tonight at Motive, and your race winner there, Senna, taking the Grand Prix after Tezza Mazza took the sprint race, and Tezza having to settle for 3rd place here in this Belgian Grand Prix, down to a very unlucky strategy there for him. But Senna, Toaster and Tezza Mazza, your podium finishes here tonight. Iain, I've got to ask you the $1 million question. Obviously, we've seen a great couple of races here tonight, but across both of those races, who would you say is your pick for driver of the day?
I would have to go with Tezza. After that second race when he went into the pits to go into the hard tyres, he was down in the lower ranks of the race. Then he just managed to build his way back up, even while everyone else went for the tyre. He stuck with the hard tyres and he still managed to persevere and still managed to catch a 3rd place.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's a fantastic job from Tezza Mazza there in tonight. But Senna obviously taking a win, his first win in a while. So really impressed with him managing to return to the top step. Maybe he can keep this up for the rest of the season, keep putting in the work, keep putting in the practice and being able to challenge Tezza for the rest of this season. Who knows if he'll be able to challenge Chris and Joram when they eventually make appearances again on the channel this season. But well done to Senna, well done to Tezza, well done to everybody here tonight. Thanks to Iain once again for joining me in the box.
Of course.
And yeah, thanks to everybody watching this back afterwards. To the drivers, please share it with your friends, family and always associates. And we will see you very, very soon. Join us next week at the same time as always. And yeah, Cheers, everybody. Good night.